Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And once again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly, truly appreciate it. So look, on Wednesday the 20th, in honor of my mom, whose birthday would have been March the 20th, and I launched the 5 Pillars of Credit, that book that I was telling you about, the ebook, the 5 Pillars of Credit, launched on Wednesday, and the response has been pretty good, if I must say. So thank you all for who already went out and got the book. It's a very small book, but it's giving you those 5 pillars of credit. You listen to this show, you know what those 5 things are. I have detailed them out, and even if you think you know it all, pick up the book anyway. You can also even gift the book. It's an ebook, so it's electronic. Some people are not as technically savvy as others, so they might be having trouble getting it, but it's simple to get. Doesn't matter if you got an Android or if you got an iPhone, you can get this book as well. There is free apps out there where you can read the book. Amazon Kindle has a free app. It's also on the Nook. The Nook has a free app. So you can go ahead and get those things on your cell phone, on your iPad, on your Mac, or whatever it is. You can get the book as well. So go out and get the book. It's only $2.99. So like I said before, if you've ever gotten any information from the 800 Credit Score Man Show and you found it valuable at all, I don't care if it was just the fact that maybe I shouldn't pay this off right now. I don't care if it's just the fact that this is where the credit bureaus are at. Here's the telephone number. Whatever it is, if you gleaned any little pearl that came from the 800 Credit Score Man Show, I'm asking you to go out and get that book. And like I said, you can even gift the book to somebody else as well. So it's only $2.99. So go out, get your 1, 2, 3 copies of it if you want to. I would truly, truly appreciate it. It has been the number one new release in its category. So the number one new release is 5 Pillars of Credit. Go out and get it today. Get it today. Maybe we get to stay on the number one or stay in the number one spot for the rest of the week, maybe rest of the month. But at $2.99, the value that's in the book far exceeds itself. So go check it out. Even if you just want to read the preface where I tell about my particular credit journey, go out and get the 5 Pillars of Credit. And for everyone that has already gotten it, thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly, truly appreciate you guys. So today, what are we going to talk about? So today, on last week, I told you guys that I was going to probably revisit collections and how to handle some of those collections for you. So we're going to do that. The first time I did this show seems like eons ago. The show was coming up on its 3rd anniversary. So it's always something or another, dropping a book, adding a new platform for you to listen to the show on or something. There's always something going on. And so there's not necessarily anything in the month of April that's specific to the show, except for I think we're going to hit a very significant number in terms of users. But in the month of May, we'll be celebrating the 3-year anniversary. Is it the 3-year? Wow. 3-year anniversary of the 800 Credit Score Man Show on the last weekend in April. So it's always some stuff going on. So it's been a long time since I did this collection show. And so we're going to talk about collections today, what you should do, and things of that nature, how you should handle those things when it comes up to collections. It's really I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the number one thing that people have on their credit report, but it is very common. It is extremely common to have a collection on your credit report. So you are not alone. And so today we're going to talk about how to deal with those things. Before I get started, let me do a couple of shout outs. I like to do the youngest among us. So the youngest that I have today is Nia Bacon. Happy birthday to Nia, a very talented, cute young lady. Turned 12 years old. So happy birthday to you, Nia Bacon. I got to shout out Micah Carlson. He celebrated a birthday as well. Recently inducted to the Honor Societies in high school, too. So happy birthday and congratulations to you, Micah. Last week, JR That's Esco, J.R. Welch. He celebrated a birthday, one of my frat brothers, so I got to give him a big shout out as well. So, yo to you, J.R. Welch. All right, so let's jump into the collections part of the show. So, when I talk today, I'm going to talk about regular collections and I'm going to talk about medical collections. And when I say regular, I mean anything that's not a medical collection. So, if you've got a collection on your credit report because you skipped out on paying a credit card, or you've got a collection from an old cell phone bill, or even a utility bill, or what have you. I've been seeing Progressive on a lot of people's credit reports recently. So if you've got some kind of collection that's not medical in nature, when I say regular today, that's what I'm talking about. And then when I'm talking about medical collections, I'll say that as well. So we're going to talk about the difference between the two, how they work, if there's any difference at all, and how you should go about getting rid of those things off your credit report. Because here's the thing. If you have a collection on your credit report, I can't say this enough. Simply paying that collection does not remove it from your credit report, and it doesn't remove the points that you already were deducted for having a collection. So once that collection hits your credit report and your score falls, whatever that number is, because I couldn't tell you exactly what that number is, I know when we talk about payments and you missing a payment on something, your credit report can drop anywhere from 30 to 100 points on payments if you miss a payment. But when it comes to collections, I couldn't really tell you. I don't even know what the range is. I don't know if it's just 2 points or if it's 102 points. I don't know what that range is because I see different things all the time when it comes to collections and how your credit report reacts to them. So just rest assured, though, getting collections on your credit report is one of the worst things that you can do. So that's not, and it's not even in the 5 pillars. That's not even in the 5 pillars of credit, but it is a very significant action that happens to your credit report. So when you have a regular collection, let me tell you how the regular collection works first. So regular collections work like this. When you default on a loan, or you still owe a utility company and they've been trying to collect from you internally. So, they have their people that work there giving you a call every week or sending you letters, and you don't respond and you don't pay them. Some of these people have like a collection agency basically waiting that they'll send your account to, and that agency will attempt to collect from you. They've already made an agreement with this particular collection agency, and they'll go about doing that. They'll actually buy your account from whoever you owe. So if you owe Sprint, if you owe T-Mobile, if you owe AT&T, company will come along, a collection agency will come along, and they'll buy that account from them for pennies on the dollar, literally pennies on the dollar. They'll buy it from them, and then they'll go and collect on you. So any money that they get over whatever they paid for your account is their profit. That's how they work. That's how they make their money. So, for example, if you owe someone $1,000, a collection agency will come in and maybe they pay them $100 for that particular account. And I'm sure it depends on how viable it is, how much information that they have for you that is correct and accurate and up to date. Excuse me. If it was me and I owned a collection agency, that's what I would do. I would pay more if an account was more current and I knew where that person worked and I knew where they lived and, I had a couple of telephone numbers for them versus somebody that I've got to really go out and try to find. I would pay more for them. So let's say you got $1,000. Got $1,000 collection. They go in and they pay Sprint or T-Mobile or AT&T or XYZ garbage collection company, whoever it is. They go in and they pay them $100 for that particular account. So now they're collecting on you. So they start sending you letters and calling you and things of that nature to try to get you to pay this particular collection. So they're going to call you and they're going to place it on your credit report, and it'll tell you on your credit report, here's the collection agency, and it should say original debtor. So a lot of people will look at, something on their credit report and they say, well, I don't owe these people because I don't know these people. So I never had any dealings with XYZ agency, so I don't know why I owe them at all, not necessarily knowing or realizing that that collection agency bought it from who you actually did owe. So when it comes down to them trying to collect on you, they're sending you those letters and whatnot. And then if you feel like you're going to pay them, or you want to contact them back, or you want to talk to them because you want to get rid of this debt and you want to get it off your credit report, they'll say, hey, here is what you owe. You owe $1,000. So to you in your head, yep, I owe $1,000. I don't want to pay $1,000, and this is the reason I've been running from you in a long time. I don't want to pay it, or I don't have the money to pay that $1,000. What you can do and what you should do is negotiate with them. So now you know that they didn't pay $1,000 for your account if you didn't know it before. They didn't pay $1,000 for your account. This is why you can actually negotiate with them. If they actually paid $1,000 for it, or if they were actually the ones that you owed the money, so let's say it was actually Sprint collecting on you and not their collection agency, then they wouldn't be as free about negotiating with you and letting you settle on a particular amount that's not the full amount. But since they don't, and they paid $100 for it, then if they get $1,000 out of you, then they made $900 on this particular account. And like I said, that's how they make their money. So they do this 100 times, and they make $900. Then that's how they make their money. That's what they do. So this is why you can negotiate, and you should always negotiate with them. So when you start off and you want to go ahead and pay, they catch you on the phone, or you're reluctant to pay, but you want to try to get your credit restored and get your credit score up, then you need to start negotiating. Two things you want to do. Yep, I had a pregnant pause right there because I want you to really listen to this. There's two things that you absolutely want to do. One of the things you want to do is you want to pay less than what you owe. And some credit gurus and maybe even some accountants might say you might not want to do that. And here's why they say that. The reason they say not to do it because it'll show on your credit report as settled. So that means you didn't pay the full amount. Your credit report says initially it was $1,000, and then when they show zero or paid, it'll also say that you settled it. Settled or not doesn't really make a big difference, only to somebody that's actually looking at your credit report and doing a deep dive evaluation of it. So if you're going to get a mortgage, at one point in time, a mortgage company might, if you were like on the borderline of being approved or not being approved, or you need an extra 10 grand on this particular house that you want to buy, they might take that into account. Nowadays, that's not necessarily the case. So if you can settle it, then go ahead and settle it and save yourself that money. So that's one of the reasons that they're looking at it that way, and they may not say that. When I say some accountants may not like for you to do this, if you settle, when you settle, you owe them $1,000, and let's say you settle for $700. Oftentimes, and I think that it might be required by them, what they'll do is they'll send you a little card, kind of like you get your W-2 form in the mail. They'll send you a little card, and it'll say, basically you got out of $300 worth of debt. That is what you're supposed to file on your taxes. So it's no free lunches, right? So that's what you're supposed to file on your taxes. The fact that you settled and you didn't pay the full amount that was owed. I would rather probably take that hit on the taxes, because you're still overall plus versus minuses when it comes to the money. You're saving money, and the more money you get to save off of negotiating, the better it is for you. So excuse me. So those are the two reasons. So back to this. So you wanna go ahead and you wanna negotiate with them. The two things that you really want to do, you want to negotiate to get it lower, and the second thing is, which might be even more important than negotiating, is getting it removed from your credit report. So you want it removed from your credit report. Simply paying a collection does not, I repeat, does not remove it from your credit report. And I don't care how new it is. I don't care how old it is. It doesn't just remove it from your credit report. So, and why do you want to remove it from your credit report? So if you pay the collection, it still stays on there. You still get dinged, if you will, the points. So you're still getting dinged the points because you had a collection in the first place. So that's not helpful for your credit score. If you're doing this to be helpful for your credit score, then do everything you can to make it helpful for your credit score. If you're doing it because